Seahawks, go, Seahawks, no, don't. Oh, you just lost the Super Bowl. Ugh, I'm so emotionally affected because the Seahawks lost the game. This is more than I can take. I need something to distract me and entertain me because the Seahawks lost the Super Bowl. I'm emotionally affected. Oh, okay, well let me read this and let me see if this is a good and relevant distraction. Oh, actually it is. It's comments I received on a video that was actually about hair loss, DHT blocking foods. No, Hulk, smash! What's funny is this video that I made yesterday was amazingly popular. I really didn't intend for it to be. I mean, I did it yesterday afternoon, but it had 129 views so far, 32 comments, 8 likes. That's unusual for one of my videos to gain that much attention. So we need to talk about that. But ultimately, we're going to learn a lot more than just about sports and hair loss. I got to tie my shoe. I'm just being real with you, you know, because I'm real. I don't edit. I want you to know that I'm a real person, and what you see that happens in these videos just happens. All right, so let's start with the comment that I immediately got on that, and it was our friend Rob Scranage, and he said, quote, "I'm with you on that one, Nick. I've seen grown men cry over their football team losing a game. Different planet," he says, end quote. So you can see a theme that's establishing here already in this video, the fact that a man would give power over his emotions to men playing a game on the other side of America. He's not playing the game. He's watching people play the game. He's investing emotions, time, and maybe even money in watching other people do this. Let me just point that out. All right. Then we've got Robert, and we love Robert. This channel wouldn't be what it is if it weren't without Robert being here. Robert left many comments about this, and he interacted with several people, and I'm grateful for that because it adds a lot to it. Don't have time to read all that today, but I do want to read this excerpt that Robert had to say about my comment about sports in a video that was supposed to be about DHT. And I've mentioned this. I've made videos before talking about how my feelings on sports, but that was before I became popular as a YouTube and no one saw those videos. Here's an excerpt from Robert. Quote, "People watch sports as an... Oh, hold up. Before I read this to you, instead of you taking it at face value, I want you to think of it as Robert is describing people watching my YouTube videos. Again, your assignment, as you hear Robert's comment, is he's talking about people and their love for sports. Instead, translate that and think of it. What Robert's really saying is, this is why people watch Nick Shell's hair loss videos. You got it? Okay. Now, this is going to be fun. In reality, he's talking about people loving sports, but I want you to think of it as why people watch my videos. Here we go. Quote, "People watch sports or Nick Shell's hair loss videos as an escape, for entertainment, and because they serve as metaphors for life. You get to observe crucial, pressure-packed moments and see who has the mental toughness to be victorious. And on the other end of the spectrum, you get to see who becomes a victim of circumstance." End quote. Robert, I love you, man. You're making my job too easy. Thank you. So, obviously you can see what's going on here. I consider myself a sports agnostic, meaning I understand that sports exist, but I'm not really buying into them. And let me sidetrack one moment. So my dad, you've met my dad, you've seen him in the videos. He's the reason I am the way I am. He never cared about sports. He always thought it was a waste of time and energy and money too. A waste of everything. And I picked up after that. I played some sports growing up, but I never cared, and neither did he. So, and I think in hindsight, as a 36-year-old man looking at my 60-year-old dad, I see that he's emotionally detached from things that don't matter. And so the things that do matter to him, he spends his time and energy on, and most other things he just doesn't give emotion to, whether it's politics or sports or people's interaction with. He's just not an emotional kind of guy. And over the course of my maturity as a human being, I've become more like him, and I've become a better person because of that model that he served as, to me. I'm so grateful that I'm unplugged from a system in which sports has any control over my emotions. But let's go back to this. As I read this to you, Robert's talking about sports. Now let's consider this. For a guy who doesn't care about sports and thinks that sports is is a waste of time, energy, money, and your emotions. Look at what he said. See how this translates to me as a YouTuber. And what I want you to think of it is, instead of me caring about sports, this is my sport. Yes, okay, what Robert said. So let's translate it this. People watch my videos as an escape for entertainment because, and he's talking about metaphors in life. I'm all about that. I'm all about stop giving power over your emotions and hair loss. Stop giving it power over you. Cut the ties so that you, and so I'm full of metaphors the whole time. Pressure-packed moments, and you get to see in the comment section, you get to see who has the mental toughness to be victorious, because some people say, Nick, I get it, you're right. I'm tired of caring about hair loss. I'm not going to care anymore. I'm going to be like you. And then others on the other end of the spectrum, you get to see who becomes the victim of circumstance. You get to see the guys that say, F you, Nick Shell. You make too many videos about hair loss. And those are scared little boys that say that, because that's all they are. Instead of reaching out for help, they lose. They're not victorious, they're victims. And that's all they're ever going to be until they overcome this. So I get to see, this is my sports, is what I'm saying, right? I'm not a consumer, I'm the creator. But in the process of creating, I get to watch this unfold. I love doing what I do, okay? But there's so much psychology in what I do, and how hair loss all comes back to all of this. It's funny, I want to close by saying this. Emotions have so much control over us. And until we stop letting that happen, it's going to continue to happen. But it's funny because I've talked about identity protective cognition before, IPC, and how certain ideas and beliefs are so interwoven into our identity that the moment someone says something against that, we feel attacked. He's attacking my identity. Nick Shell's attacking my identity because he made fun of my sports team, the Seahawks, who lost the Super Bowl. Okay? And that becomes an attack against the person. And anything that they hear that goes against that only reinforces their beliefs. That the Seahawks, or whoever it is, the Montgomery Biscuits or the Minnesota Beavers, whoever the team is, it's an attack on an identity, right? So it's all about identity and how much we're willing to do to protect our identity, and how much emotion we pack into our concept of our identity. But what if sports didn't have that control over you, like it doesn't for me? What if hair loss didn't have that control over you? Imagine how much, imagine me, a grown man. I spend no time watching sports, caring about sports, knowing what players. Imagine how much more freedom in my life I have. I love my life, and I love the fact that sports has zero control over it. Now, I'm not saying sports is bad. I'm just saying that I think emotionally, men, they protect that as part of their identity, and they're emotionally invested in it, just like they are with hair. Do you think it's irrational? I think it's irrational that men care so much about their hair loss when it's fleeting to begin with. I also think it's irrational that men love sports so much. I think it's irrational. And I've said before in videos, when you see someone who's deflective, defensive, emotional about something, it's probably irrational, and there's probably a fundamental issue there. I will close with this. This is the last thing, because my 10 minutes is almost up. Just in closing, as bonus, as the credits are rolling, Steven Stognat had this to say. He commented on this video. He said, quote, "Hulk smash, what a doofus." So he's making fun of that. But just keep in mind, you watched that video mainly because of the title, but for the fact that it said, no, Hulk smash. I know how to manipulate you. I'm a good guy, but I manipulate you. I know that if I didn't say that, if I just said DHT blocking foods, we wouldn't be talking about sports. We wouldn't be talking about any of this. So that's how I manipulate you into the titles. I know how to emotionally lead you. I'm the master of puppets pulling your strings.